Chapter 119. A Moment of Insanity. Akio felt downcast when Riel told him not to see them ever again, so that Riel and her son could finally move on with their lives in peace. Furthermore, the lies that Nicole told Riel that aggravated the situation, that made Akio even more furious. Nicole's action became detrimental between him and Riel. He was already at his edge, so he confronted Nicole. "I made you pregnant. Huh? Come on. I'll give you what you want." Akio's eyes looked devilish. He pulled Nicole by her wrist, while struggling in fear. Akio was about to drag her to her room, when Nolan interfered to stop Akio. "Sir, don't do this. You're just making things worse." Akio was in his moment of insanity, that he felt like being douched in cold water. He dropped Nicole's hand and moved away, brushing his hair with his fingertips, then slumped himself on the sofa, covering his face. Nicole ran to her room and locked herself in shame and petrified. Nolan approached Akio and said, "Sir, you need to rest. I'll accompany our team to the site now and supervise the construction." Akio stood and touched Nolan's shoulder, then spoke. "Tell Nicole that she's fired. I want her to leave Honolulu immediately, and I don't want her in this house." Then Akio went to his bedroom. Nolan understood how Akio felt and was relieved for both, so he went to Nicole to relay Akio's message. "Why did you do this to Mrs. Riel and Akio? You knew very well how Mr. Hinaud felt when he lost Mrs. Riel. I am sorry for you. Nicole, you are fired. Start packing all of your things now, then I'll bring you to the airport." Nolan felt sympathy for Nicole, while she was crying desperately. Then Nolan continued, "You knew how Akio felt for Miss Riel. He felt crazy when he learned that Riel could not be found, which was why he took all the ways and means necessary just to find her, and you know that. We saw how you were head over heels on Sir Akio, and we pity you, because whatever flirting you did, Akio seemed not to care. It would be best if you had stopped there, but you insisted on becoming persistent. You know what? You're lucky Sir Akio didn't take advantage of your craziness over him. We looked highly at him, believing he was a one-woman man." Nicole sadly left Akio's house. Nicole felt remorse. Good thing that Nolan accompanied her to the airport. Meanwhile, Riel uploaded all her photos with Hyung-sik to her social media account. She was ready to be known where she spent her solitary life with her son, since she was prepared to return home. Her family and friends were excited to see her back to her daily routine. "I have been so worried about you and Hyung-sik, Riel. Of all places, I never thought of your going to the US. Please come back soonest. Paperwork is piling up for you, and I'm afraid they might cave you in." Hwon-chul jested. "I was so surprised you're there in Honolulu, my friend." My cousin, Nolan, was also on Mr. Hinaud's team. They were in charge of the design and construction of the American Hoteliers project. "I hope you won't mind if I'd let him know that you were there too," Natalie said. "Well, Nolan was ahead of you already. They found me, and there's no need to tell him, since I'll be moving out, and we'll be checking in at a hotel. Hyung-sik and I are coming home soon," Riel explained. "What happened to you and Akio? How was your reunion? Are you both returning home?" Natalie asked curiously. "Hyung-sik and I were the only ones returning home, and Akio had a contract here. Did you forget?" Then Patricia added to their group chat, "Hurry up, my dear, in time for my wedding." Riel was astonished. "You're getting married to Chul," Patricia replied. "Yes, you're then my sister-in-law." Riel was teary-eyed. "Oh? I'm so happy for both of you. Chul had found the right girl, at last." Riel smiled. "I've been praying that we'll hear from you soon, to tell you about our wedding, and isn't that wonderful? You're back, at last." After a long chat with Patricia and Natalie, Riel called her mother. "Mom, we're going home," feeling exuberant. "Oh? I'm so glad, Riel. How's my grandson? Had he given you headaches?" "Ruby and I sometimes worry, because Hyung-sik could be rowdy and naughty, and his tantrums might give you a lot of trouble." Riel laughed and said, "Hyung-sik was adorable, Mom. He always listened to what I told him, though he was stubborn. It was natural for his age. I guess he loved being with me the whole time. Oh, Mom, he loved our stay here, because we're always at the beach." Then after a moment of silence, Mrs. Kalma said, "Akio had been here often, always asking if you already communicated with me. I was surprised to hear from him that he'll be heading for Honolulu and be away for some time. Akio accepted an offer from an American hotelier businessman to construct a hotel. I remained mum, but hopeful that he would find you there, because he was searching for you. Riel. Akio was using every means to find you, countries where overseas workers chose to go. Even if he were in Hawaii, he told me that he would always be active in contacting me for updates about you. Can you just imagine he's going to where you chose to go? Was destiny working again, Riel? Had you found each other? Riel felt a lump in her throat, tears about to shed. She replied, "Yes, Mom. We found each other by accident. Well? Why don't you seem happy in telling me? Is something wrong?" Her mom entreated. "I drove him away, Mom, and he'll never show up again," she said sadly. "What? I don't understand, Riel. Why the sudden change of heart? Have you found another man?" Her mom was curious. "No, Mom. He did. And the woman is pregnant." Mrs. Kalma was jittery. "How did that happen, Riel, when he was very determined in looking for you?" "I do not understand," feeling disappointed. "Don't try, Mom. What is essential right now is that Young-sik and I arrive in time for Chul's wedding. I'll see you soon." And both disconnected their call. Riel felt all alone. She could not understand what fate was doing to her and Akio. They met, perhaps, only to have their final closure. Then she thought, "I have to accept that I'm not that lucky with men. It was good that I already had a son to raise and care for the rest of my life, and at least my life wouldn't be boring. I am a fulfilled woman who could focus on the business Hyun left me and put my son at the center of my life." She silently let her sorrow consume her, shedding tears until she could no longer feel it. She made a vow to herself to never plead for love again. Riel lay down, switched off the light, and hugged her son to sleep. "Tomorrow and onwards will be better days for me," she thought. Unbeknownst to Riel, Akio was on watch over them. He stood quietly by the coconut tree on Riel's front lawn. He could not let her go, and he was thinking about how he could have Riel and her son back in his life. And when Riel turned off the bedside table lamp, Akio left. It was Friday morning, after Riel and Young-sik finished breakfast. She called the airport for a flight reservation. "Good morning, ma'am. So, your return ticket is for a first class bound to Manila, Saturday flight at noon. Is that right, ma'am?" asked the concierge. "Yes, that is correct. Thank you." After confirming her flight, Riel made a call to a hotel. She decided to check in so that it would be accessible for them to reach the airport quickly. Then Riel brought Young-sik to the beach for their last picnic. She took many photos as part of their souvenir on their vacation. After their picnic, Riel packed up and told Young-sik to put his toys in his backpack. "Remember, Hyung, if you leave your ball here again, you will surely lose it forever, because we are leaving, especially for your ball. Do you understand me?" she reiterated. "Yes, Mommy," Young-sik nodded cheerfully. Then Riel called for an Uber to bring them to the hotel. When they arrived, they went straight to their room. Young-sik looked around. "Where are we, Mommy?" asked Young-sik, puzzled. "We're at the hotel, because we will fly home to Mama and Ruby, and we ride an airplane to bring us home. Will Papa be joining us?" Riel became suddenly quiet. "Mommy, where is Papa?" asked Young-sik. "Papa's staying here, son." Young-sik became stubborn. "Why? Why is Papa not coming?" "Because?" Riel could not say the right words. "Why, Mommy?" Young-sik was already in tears. "It is like this. Your Papa now has a new family, and Papa will have a new baby and cannot see you anymore. Anyway, Mommy is here to take care of you." Young-sik cried, and Riel felt so bad for seeing her son hurt about not having to see Akio anymore. How will Young-sik accept Riel's explanation about his Papa having a new family without him? Please stay tuned for the final episode of the Windows of the Heart series on my YouTube and TikTok channels. I appreciate your continued and encouraging support. Thank you.